Press Hockey Coverage with Jim Biringer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Full Press NHL podcast. I'm your host, Jim Biringer. Back alongside my good friend, Ryan Paton. You get him, Pucks and 7, Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Come back with a quick special here for you guys because summer, free agency was, meh. But obviously, everybody wants to look ahead to February 2026 and the Olympics and the rosters, orientation camps. Before we dive in, I just want to say, Ryan, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And I want to say this. Number one, always great to catch up, whether it's the summer or not. But I got to say that the U.S. and Canada should be ashamed of themselves as countries. No, this isn't political. What I mean by that is they're ashamed of creating such great products and talent on the ice that there's so many players to choose from. So they got to shut down the whole system, shut down the talent that they're doing in each of these countries. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. Good to talk with you.
Yeah, it's good to talk with you. And I mean, look, everybody wants to talk about, first off, everybody wants to talk about the snubs that didn't get invited. And, okay, you didn't get invited. That doesn't mean you're not going to be on the team. And I guess that's where we could start because, everybody's losing their mind over Lane Hutson not being invited to Team USA's orientation camp. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to just say this. He wasn't going to be on the team anyway because there's 8 guys ahead of him.
Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned snubs. I'm glad you start there because whenever the Hall of Fame is announced, what's the most of the discussion? Oh, yeah, these players and builders get in, but who got snubbed? Who didn't get in? Who didn't get in on the first ballot? Who didn't get in on the 10th ballot? It's always about who doesn't make the team. I'm totally with you with Lane Hutson, and this goes back to the whole embarrassment of riches with Canada and the U.S., how much talent they have. He will get there at some point, and it's going to be a lot sooner than later. My whole thing with this is that there still is this old school, old boys club mentality with both of these nations when it comes to experience at the Olympic level. And not just that, but the experience at the NHL level. If I was a GM, and if you were as well, I would absolutely, probably, with all due respect to everybody else, I'd put Hutson on. He's the reigning Norris Trophy, he's the rookie of the year. He's just this individual who is going to be an impact player. And I don't know if there's such of a discussion anymore about, no experience and he can't do this at this level. I don't buy that anymore. These guys are so good. You throw them in any situation, they'd be fine. But yeah, he's off. But you're right. There's so many guys in front of him, so there's no room for him.
No, there is no room for him, and I agree with that take because I've been saying that since the rumors came out early in August before this stuff even was announced that he was not going to be invited. His time will come. His time will come in 2028. He'll be on the Olympic team. He'll be on USA Hockey.
He's so young, right? The sky's the limit for this guy.
And look, he's still developing, right? And I think the knock's going to be on him. Oh, he's small and this and that because we know who's running the team and. Even the general manager, who I'm going to say remain nameless because, he's a good dude, but he even took shots at Adam Fox. And I'm Adam Fox is still a really good defenseman in this league. Yeah. And I do think, and this has been my opinion, both Canada and Team USA are pretty much set. This is just a show just for guys to just be there in case they need reserves. Because I think the teams we saw at the Four Nations are the teams we're going to see in Milan.
Going to be a repeat?
Yeah.
I will take most of the angle and agree with you with that. The only issue I have, if you want to, we'll go back and forth with Canada and the U.S., obviously, but the only issue I have with that is, and I didn't agree with it going in, even though Canada won the Four Nations, I did not agree with the goaltending that they had. I didn't agree with Logan Thompson not being on that Canadian roster. So I'm going to say that you're going to get a Thompson. I think is going to be one of these three. But I know that he was told, and a lot of the other guys who were on the bubble, they were told, hey, you're not invited to the initial camp, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get a shot and you have to play well. I just think that he should have been there. My whole point, JB, in the Four Nations, and he should be there at the Olympics.
I agree with that. If you look at the goaltending for Canada and you say to yourself, okay, where's an area of weakness that could still rear its ugly head? It's the goaltending because Binnington played great.
Yep.
But he also showed in games he could give up softies.
Exactly. How many times were we watching those games and we're thinking, how long is John Cooper going to go with Binnington the next game? No, he can't. He can't after this. And yeah, he made some big saves. But I still don't have the confidence. I don't have the confidence in Sam Montembeault. I don't. I know we talked about Montreal. I know we talked about Lane Hutson. The weakest link and the Canadians, in my opinion, is their goaltending. So if you're going to have Aiden Hill, if you're going to have Sam Montembeault, and then Jordan Binnington as your three, I would put a Logan Thompson in front of a in front of a Sam Montembeault. That's all I'm saying with that.
Yeah, and then we know what some of the reasoning behind the Montembeault stuff is.
I know.
And everything. But he also did win a world championship for Team Canada. So you can't he has it on his resume, but I do agree with you on the fact that I think that's a lot of question marks around the goaltending now, especially in Montreal when it comes to the expectations, right? Like they're higher now. So is he the guy to do it? And again, are they going to pull the trigger? Because John Cooper told Binnington before Four Nations, hey, I'm sticking with you no matter what. Yeah. And it was clear he did. But again, now it's a longer tournament. We've seen it in the past with Team Canada. If the goalie struggles, they go to somebody else. Martin Brodeur took over for Cujo. Luongo took over for Brodeur and these things. I know Carey Price won his gold medal, but again, it's the Olympics, bigger stage, the microscope, especially for Canada and with the USA because of Hellebuck's struggles in these type of tournaments. It's going to be under a microscope, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys.
And the other thing about this event, like the Four Nations, this is even more so because there's more than four nations competing at the Olympics, but you're playing best on best. So you're playing best for Canada against the best of the USA. That doesn't mean, if a goaltender, say, Aiden Hill gives up 2-3 goals or something, he's pulled. It doesn't mean that Binnington, if he comes in or Montembeault comes in, it's going to be a cakewalk. You're still playing the same team. So my point is, the talent level that they have, and you make a great point too about John Cooper. I think he was one of the MVPs, if not the MVP of that Four Nations. I really do. Sticking with Binnington, right? He knew something we didn't. He saw things that we did, but I think behind the scenes, he knows. He knew Binnington, and he stuck with him. That's what makes John Cooper so good. And remember at the end of that tournament where it was mic'd up, and I didn't catch exactly what he said, but he basically said to Binnington, hey, man, big games call for big-time players. You're a big-time player. And to me, mentally, for Binnington to get through the hurdles of not playing well during games at times and then finding a way to win that gold medal for Canada, that bodes so well for a guy mentally. And goalies, Jim, goalies are a different breed, man, when it comes to what's going on up here, because we don't know, and they don't even know what's going on up there.
No, they have no clue what's going on up there. They have zero clue what's going on.
Stop the puck. That's all they know.
That's all that stop the puck. But again, Binnington played well again in Boston, and again, the Olympics are not being played in Boston, so he's got to do it on European soil. Yeah. And Canada is, looking to win gold medal on European soil, and get back to being the best in the nation. Can they keep it going? Because Team USA is on the rise. They just won Olympic Gretzky. They've won a world championship now. And I think, when I make this statement, I think most of the team is set. I do think there's going to be tweaks for both teams. And I think the biggest tweak is coming on Team USA because Tage Thompson will be there for the Americans.
I love him. I love Tage Thompson. He's playing on a poor team. Get out of Buffalo, Tage. I know it's not happening. Buffalo would go into a riot if that happened. But you put him on a different team, the guy would be, I don't know, a Hart Trophy candidate, maybe a winner, right? I love the guy. He's got the skill. He's got the talent. He's got the size. How many big players, I'm not saying big talent, but physically big players can do what Tage Thompson does? There's not many. There's not many in the game. Not many at all in the game. I know you've been on him quite a bit with how positive you feel about the guy.
I love Tage Thompson. What he did at the World Championships, put the team on his back, led the team in goal scoring. I mean, look, you look at that roster for Team USA for a minute, and there's a couple of guys on there that won the World Championship. Connor Garland, the guy who came up with big goals for Team USA. I mean, I think he's going to get a serious look to play. And, Ryan Warsofsky better be on this staff for Team USA because he was part of that coaching staff. No, but I mean, you have a guy who's won a gold medal at the Worlds. Yeah. You got to have that experience on the bench. He was able to push to all the right buttons. And it's just, to me, a team that, you look at it, I don't think you're going to have the Kreiders, the Trocheck. Maybe Trocheck will be there, but I'm not sure about the Nelsons and the Kreiders types because there's just so many good other players on this team that can elevate offensively for Team USA. I think that's where the tweaks will be in the bottom six, so they can have a little bit of more offensive punch, because I think that was lacking at the Four Nations a little bit.
I saw recently, and I think it was yesterday, the day before, just somebody put out kind of the the four lines for the USA, and they had them like this. They had Jake Gensel, Austin Matthews, and Tage Thompson, and then Jack Eichel between Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk. That's a heck of a line. Kyle Connor, Dylan Larkin, Jack Hughes, and then Clayton Keller, Vinny Trocheck, Matt Boldy. Extras Cole Caulfield and TJ Miller, or JT Miller, sorry. What about, can I throw something at you?
Yeah.
And I know that I know your answer already. And maybe down the road this will come, kind of like Elaine Hutson. Matthew Nyes is the type of player to me that would shine on a stage like this.
I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be a hot take, and I said this since Four Nations.
Yep.
And I'm not, and I'll probably get crucified by Devil's Nation, and I really don't care. But I would take Matthew Nyes on this team over Jack Hughes.
JB.
Wow. Look,
okay.
The way
I'm with you. Crucify me as well, Devil's Nation. I'm with you.
Look, I love the way Matthew Nyes plays. He gets into dirty areas. He wins puck battles along the wall. He's a bigger player. He's a physical player. Jack Hughes, the injuries are a concern. He's not a winger. Like, as much as the Devils really probably would have benefited themselves from getting a JT Miller, plugging him in at the second line and moving Jack Hughes to the wing, he's just not big enough yet. Jack never benefited from playing overseas or playing a year professionally, someplace else, or going to college to develop like his brothers did. His Four Nations showing to me was very, I mean, there were times he showed flashes, but
no, I agree.
But he's not, but you're telling me Jack Hughes is going to be on the team and he's going to play third line? Is Jack Hughes effective if he's a third line player? I might as well just not have him on a team then, if I'm being honest. And it's very tough. And I, again, I'm a big Jack Hughes guy, but I would take Matthew Nyes over Jack Hughes.
I would take, I agree with your take. I do. And I'm a big Matthew Nyes fan. I just think best part about Matthew Nyes is the attitude. And the attitude is all the guy wants to do is play hockey. And again, I've said this on SXM for quite a bit this year. And I know when his contract was coming to an end and there was discussion that will there be an offer sheet. And at the end of the year in Toronto, he said, I just want to play with the Maple Leafs. That's all I want to do. Like there's going to be no discussion. But I remember thinking that he is like a 5-tool player in baseball. If there's 5 tools that you want in somebody in hockey, and I'll just throw 5 out: physicality, he can hit, he can score, he can create, and he's just a grinder. I mean, those are 5 tools right there. So why wouldn't you shine that way?
He did shine. I mean, he can shine on that stage, and I think he showed he was one of the better players for Toronto in the playoffs. That's why I was look, I don't want to spend too much time on Team USA, but that's why I was very surprised a guy like Nazem Kadri wasn't invited to Team Canada's camp.
Yeah, he's ticked.
He's very ticked. I would be ticked too. I would be ticked too, because that's the type of guy you want on your team.
How could you not? And you know what the thing with him and the knock on him, and it sucks, is that when he was in Toronto, he made a couple of dumb plays in the playoffs, and those stick with management. I guarantee you they do. Yep. So I'm not saying that that's the reason why they didn't include Kadri, but he's a hard-nosed player. Why wouldn't you want him on your roster? You watch though. Because of how ticked he is, I remember too when the Four Nations was released and Connor Bedard was quoted as saying he was pretty much ticked after that he didn't get invited, and it gave him some motivation to have a great last couple of months, which I think he did. I know he was battling some issues, of course, over the season, but you watch Kadri, JB, I think he's going to come out like a you-know-what and just knock the socks out of anybody that he sees in the first little bit here in the season.
Well, that's why I think Nick Suzuki raised his stock after Four Nations too.
He did.
He just put the team on his back. And I think that's a guy, like, if I'm picking extras for Team Canada, I look at it and I say, all right, maybe like a 13, 14 guy, I'm putting Suzuki there just because of what he can do in the face-off dot, what he can do penalty kill. I'm like, if Macklin Celebrini's not going to play a top 6 role for me, then don't even bring him as a 14 forward, because that's not what he's good. He'll get his time. Like, all these young guys, if they don't get on this team, will get their time.
That's a great point, and I'm glad you said that, because that goes back again to what I said in the beginning of this. It's an embarrassment of riches with the amount of talent in both of these countries. And so, again, you need to think about, yes, it is a longer tournament. This is for a gold medal for your country. And yes, the Four Nations was one thing, but it's not the Olympics. It isn't. The Olympics are separate to anything else. but you have that ability now when you're older to be on the team and be that veteran in the room and be whatever. You don't have that experience yet when it comes to a guy like a Celebrini or a Lane Hutson, as we talked about. But still, their time will come. And you think about that for a second. The Olympics for years now, it's too bad the NHL hasn't gone consistently to them because it should be, it's too bad. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that. But when you have such talent, not only in the league, but also talent coming up in the ranks, ones that haven't been drafted yet, forever it's going to be Canada and the US. I know Sweden's there. I know Finland. I know the Russians, and they have great team, but the Russians are going, of course, but they have great teams.
The Czechs, we can't throw the Czechs. The Czechs have a good team.
So things have improved when it comes to parity, if you will, with the nations. But at the end of it all, man, Canada and the US, every roster they put out is going to be strong. It's just the way it is.
But now it's put up or shut up time for Team USA because they've done it on every stage except the Olympics. They haven't won a gold medal since 1980. They haven't been to the only time.
Miracle on Ice, baby. Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, but the only 2 times they've been to a gold medal game was played on North American soil in 2002 and 2010, and they lost both times. And they haven't done squat overseas, so they have to step up. But staying on Canada for a second, I said this to somebody the other day. I said the 2 best defensemen on Canada going into this thing will be Thomas Harley and Cale Makar.
You put Harley on there?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, convince me. Because I knew you were going with Makar. I didn't think, with all due respect to him.
Yeah, the reason I say Thomas Harley is because I was so impressed what I saw at Four Nations. Yeah, remember the game the first game against USA? He wasn't sure if he was playing or not.
Yeah, and
he just comes in and it's just like, okay, I've been here the whole time.
There's the shot of him off the ice from the camera, and the camera looks, and he's in the background, right?
He played so well. He was the second best defenseman that night for Canada. I thought he played so well for Canada the rest of the way. To me, Harley is just going to make an impact for this team. And I think another guy that will probably finally get his due on this stage will probably be Mark Scheifele.
I agree with that. Yeah, he's I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him on that team. And he's kind of like, again, he's not a Matthew Nyes with the talent, but he's built bigger and he's a veteran. What these both nations have to do is, again, there's so much talent on each of them that they have to have a good mix of younger guys, but they also have to throw in some veterans as well, even if you haven't been on the stage before. And like Scheifele, whoever down the road, I mean, it's not going to be around the league for very much longer. So give him a chance. Why not? He's not going to make your team worse. No, he's not. And it's just like you have to, like you said, you have to find that right balance. But I think some guys that missed out on Four Nations, now that the rosters are a little bit higher, will finally be on this team. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I know these are just orientation and, camps and just Olympic tryout camps, or you don't even want to call it tryout camps, but it's just prelims, right? There's nothing behind this. Everything, we'll find out the real thing come December, January. And don't forget this too, prelims, orientation camps. If you put 3 guys on a line and you work with those 3, whether it's Canada, the US, whoever, whatever other nation, and if the coaches and the management see something that clicks between 3 players, if they're on the initial roster, even if they don't come out of the gate from October through the Olympics putting up, 20, 30, whatever goals and just be whatever, you'll remember that. So you'll think, you know what? Yeah, he may not be having the best season, but I remember what those 3 did in that initial camp. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with my gut. So I think that's something management needs to think about as well.
I just want to end on this point because you say stay with your gut. There's a reason why Sam Bennett got paid. He does it for the playoffs, not the regular season.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Because, look, you see what he did. Florida. Okay, he's just a 50-point guy in regular season. Yeah. But in the playoffs, different guy. Yep. Different guy.
And that's the thing with that, right? If you're on a good enough team and if you're a player like a Sam Bennett, you don't need to put up a Hart Trophy winning season to help your team into the playoffs. You have enough guys to do that. But it's game 1 of round 1 all the way through game 6 in this case for the Panthers in the Cup final against Edmonton. That's where you not only make the money, but that's where you make the memories. That guy was awesome, man. That guy was phenomenal.
It was great. I mean, you could look back. We could talk for hours about last season because next season's literally right around the corner, and we're getting the corner, baby. We're getting Olympic NHL hockey, best on best. What else could we ask for this year?
Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. What we can ask, I'll tell you this: as much as it would be a great story to see the Panthers win again, I'm going to ask for a different team to win. That's all I'm going to say. Just give me someone different. Give me a different team. Stop hogging it, Florida.
I kind of want to go back to Florida in June.
I do too, man. We were there. It was fun. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
It was
okay,
nice.
fine. Panthers, take it then. That's fine.
That's great. But guys, special here, Full Press NHL podcast. Jim Biringer alongside Ryan Paton. You get him in Pucks and 7, Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Just want to break down, some snubs, some discussion in regards to the U.S. and Team Canada Olympic rosters that were announced. It's good to always have you on the show, Ryan.
Love it, Jim. Thanks, man. Anytime, pal.
Guys, get this up on YouTube. Follow along. Full Press Hockey. Like, subscribe. Take care. We'll be back again real soon.
Full Press Hockey coverage with Jim Biringer.